Hi, Rogue.
Hi, Zaxers.
So, usually I start this with like a whole, oh, I have this great thing to talk to you about. And then you go, oh, never cared about it.
Yeah, great is in quotes, of course.
Yeah. I don't have time for quotes today. This is just bad.
Oh, good. It's a good
it's.
sign that you're telling me that it's bad, I guess. And by
I
good, I
think
mean
it.
bad.
I think it might be worse than F the prom.
Okay.
Which
that's
is like.
that's a bold claim.
I. Well, I'll tell you about it and you can be like the judge on that. But, before we start, these people are really forgettable.
Okay,
So I'm
good.
gonna tell you.
Good start.
I'm gonna tell. I'm
Do I
really
need to take
selling.
notes?
Well, I'm gonna tell you the main characters right now, so that as they get introduced, you can maybe sort of keep track of them.
Okay.
The
I'm not
star of the
taking
movie.
notes, so we'll see if I actually do keep track of them.
Okay. Star of the movie is Good Boy.
Okay.
He has a name. Don't remember.
Oh, okay. That makes it easier.
Yeah. His roommate is Noah Centineo. Do you remember SPF 18?
Yes. I don't think I
That
watched it, though.
we watched it with. I feel like we did, and I fell asleep.
I don't remember. I remember wanting to watch it with you, and I don't know if we ever actually did.
I think, well, if
Maybe
you
we did.
recognize that guy,
Okay,
it's him.
got it.
Um, then Good Boy's in love with the girl Hannah.
Okay,
She lives in a sorority with his girl Rachel.
okay. Sorority
They'll be,
sisters?
yeah. So that those are the four main people, sort of.
Sort
This
of.
movie, this movie starts with an opening credit sequence that's animated, and it basically looks like a cross between episode and a PowerPoint presentation.
Oh.
So it's really that's about the quality of the movie, I think, there. Um so Good Boy is in the backseat of his car and looking at this tech guy, and his mom and sister are in the front seat. And his sister's roasting him "Oh, you care more about tech than people." And then his mom just sort of doubles down on the roast and is like, "Well, college is a good place for making friends."
Not true.
Well, according to his mom. So they walk to the dorm and she's like, "So did you find out who your roommate is?" And then he's like, "Yeah, Noah Centineo." And then she's like, "Oh, so did you call and introduce yourself?" And I'm like, "Do you need to do that? How do you have his number? Do they give that to you too?" I guess
That's that's not college. That's
I
not how
d-
you college.
okay. I never college, so I was like, I don't know, maybe that's what they did. I don't. Okay. So then he says, "Oh yeah, I called and I got his voicemail. He never called back."
What? Wait, how
So
long has it been since he called him?
I guess. Well, I don't know because they were in the car. They're walking to the dorm now. So I guess at some maybe a day or two ago, maybe I don't know. They don't say. They just say that he got his voicemail. It's really. And then his sister's like, "So were you a nerd?" And then he was like, "I was myself. That's why he didn't call back." Leave me alone. Why did you come? Why are you seeing me off? Anyway, uh,
She's got to
the
knock
dorm.
him down a peg.
Yeah, he needs to learn his place.
Yeah.
Um, so then, the dorm room is small. I don't know. It looked pretty basic to me, but the mom's like, "I'm sorry that this isn't MIT," and he's like, "No, don't do that. It's fine." Um, so that's some exposition for us there.
Okay.
But then they double down on it again, and she's like, "Don't let the computer be your only friend." So then Good Boy waves his phone and is like, "It's not."
Is he saying that his phone is also his friend?
Yeah,
See, I take
that's.
issue with that because smartphones are just computers.
Mhm.
I that I hate when people separate the two because it's just a computer. It's a small computer in your pocket.
I
Ugh.
take issue with that because, Mom, leave me alone about my social life. Apparently, I'm brilliant enough to get into MIT.
Or is he?
So, well, right. Sorry. Okay. So then they're getting ready to leave, and they say, and the sister's like basically like tapping her wrist, like, "Come on, Mom, we gotta go. I have a party to get back to." So again, why did you come all the way to drop him off at college? Wherever it is in relation to your home. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe it's right
So,
down the street.
yeah, she's just
That's
like,
why.
I guess so. So then Noah Centineo arrives in the room. Also, like, we saw him in the background flirting with like five girls, but like, whatever. So Good Boy is like, "Oh, hi, Noah Centineo. Like, I'm your roommate. Nice to meet you. Would you want to go grab something to eat?" And Noah Centineo says, "Yeah, that sounds good," and then leaves to go get something to eat by himself.
Wait, was it supposed to be like a
He
joke?
wanted to. No, he does not come back. Because then Good Boy is like, "Oh, okay, yeah, I had stuff to do here.
N-
I'm good."
no, was it supposed to be a joke like in the script?
Oh, like funny that he did that? I
Yeah.
guess. I think so, yeah. But like,
What a
it was
bad joke.
it was so mean. And I'm like, would a guy really do that? Like, you have nothing to lose or gain by like going to get something to eat with this kid.
Yeah.
But so that night I guess we fast forward, it's nighttime now, and I don't know if they're like at the mall or if this is still part of the college, but he's like in a big candy store. So I think it was the mall. I don't know. But he's like getting himself like some candy or ice cream
You
or
know,
something.
like you do
Yeah.
as a
And
college kid going to a candy store
yeah.
by yourself.
But he's not alone. He has his phone.
That's true.
Yeah.
It's not that his computer is not his only friend.
Right. He's taking his special friend out on the town.
Ooh.
Oh my gosh. Okay. So then we see that this guy is hitting on this girl, Hannah. This is Hannah. The guy hitting on her is one of Noah Centineo's boys. He has two boys. Um, they don't matter. But anyway, so then she's like, "Hey, guy, what's your last name?" And then if a guy was hitting on you and you asked for his last name, what would you expect would happen?
I don't know because that's a super really weird situation.
Okay. Well,
Like I
he
have
said,
no expectations for what would
yeah.
happen because I don't.
I guess she
It's
just
not
wanted to
normal
fully.
human interaction.
I guess she just wanted. The movie makes a big deal about it's really important to know someone's surname. Which, like, honestly, like, I don't really feel safe dating anybody ever after watching this movie, so, like, maybe that's a good thing. But anyway, holds up his phone and he says this. "See this? I can get all the hookups I need with just a click. So you're basically obsolete. So I'm not going to tell you my name, where I went to school. And I don't have to." And then he walks off.
That is so strange.
She looks like she's about to cry.
Yeah,
And so
understandably.
her
What a
sorority sister.
weird thing to say, just at all. But
Well,
especially in response to what's your last name?
yeah, because she said it in like a cute way. Because I guess she was just trying to get to know him, and she did it. They go on to express that she's actually super shy, so that was just her attempt at like just sort of making conversation with a cute guy.
That's not how shy people work.
Well,
Movie. You don't
well,
you don't know how anything do.
they don't. So she's about to cry. Her sorority sister, Rachel, comes up and is like, "Ooh, did you get with that guy?" And she was like, "No, I didn't." And she's like, still sad. And she's like, "Ooh, well, do you mind if I do?" And then she's like, "Do whatever you want." And she leaves. And so then hear Rachel going up to the guy and she's like, "Hey, wait, I don't care what your name is."
Weird.
Like, why are you so hairspray. You're all beautiful girls. Stop this. You're not obsolete. I want to give everybody in the movie a big hug. So, Good Boy sees Hannah and is like, hey, I didn't know you go here. And then she's just like, yeah, okay. And she sort of blows him off. And she's like, I haven't seen you since. And she finishes his sentence. Yeah, since prom in May. And like, she seems like really mad at him. So at this point, I was like, ooh, maybe he's not such a good boy after all. What do you think happened? Why does she not want to see this guy anymore?
Because she had too good of a time.
Well, he says, I was just trying to impress you. I don't know what I did wrong. Here's what happened.
Okay.
He should know how shy she is. So when he picked up a microphone and said her name, the whole room of people looked at her. Basically,
Oh.
he was like, Hannah Martin, this one's for you. And he sang a song. That is what he did. That is his big crime.
Oh. That's not something to be upset over.
Well,
I mean,
he apologized. Yeah.
especially if they were just prom dates and they didn't really know each other. How was he supposed to know that she was super shy and self conscious?
Yeah, I don't even know if they were even dates though, because he was like, he apologizes profusely and he was like, I just wanted to get your attention. I'd been trying for 4 years, so he took a big
Oh,
leap and apparently it backfired completely. This was he thought it'd be like the movies, I guess.
but it's
But
just like the opposite movies, just like
yeah.
everything else in this movie. It's an anti movie.
Oh, you know what? Yes.
Yeah,
You're so smart.
thanks.
Okay. So then he's like, I'd do anything for you, Hannah. So then she says, then please leave me alone in my quiet space with my books, but walk me home. Oh wait, no. Before that, he apologizes profusely, and she's just like, walk me to my door and leave me alone. Uh, okay. I guess I'll do that.
Wait,
And
hold
then
on.
yeah.
First one, then the other, or like how is he supposed to leave her alone and walk her to her
I guess she's
dorm?
like, walk me to my room and then we'll have nothing to do with each other ever again. But like, you can walk yourself home, Hannah. Like,
Yeah, that's real dumb.
so anyway, so he's like, I'd do anything for you. And then she's like, then please leave me alone in my quiet space with my books. And then she's literally walking while holding a book. So when she falls, he's like, this isn't even good boy status anymore. I don't know what this is. So she almost falls and he says, well, can I watch the ground so that you don't trip while you
What?
read your books?
What?
And she's like, I guess that'd be okay.
What?
Then he
What?
says,
Hold on.
okay, yes.
I feel like he's trying to be cute. Like, oh, I'll make sure. Whatever. That
Hmm.
whatever. I can't
Hmm.
even say it because it's too dumb.
Okay.
And then she just is like, fine. Okay,
Yeah.
you can do that extremely dumb thing that you wanted to do,
Hmm.
and everything is better. She's okay. Ugh.
Well, then he says, can you at least tell me what you're reading?
You can look at the book. It's not a
Well,
secret.
and then she says Sense and Sensibility by Jane, and then he finishes Jane Austen. And then she's like, you know her?
Yeah, everybody knows her.
Okay, thank you. I first watched this with my roommate, and she was like, oh no, like, not all guys would know that. And I was
What?
like, I don't agree. But
Especially like a smart boy, I guess.
yeah, a
If
smart
he's
boy.
established to be like a nerd and well read, I guess.
Also, like, Sense and Sensibility just sounds like a Jane Austen book. Like, I feel like I've heard the name a lot. And I don't read a lot of Jane Austen.
I mean, I've definitely never even read Sense and Sensibilities, and I still know the author.
Yeah, I mean, I think I saw some of the movie. But anyway, he apparently impressed her a little bit. So then he's like, yeah, like I love her. What's your favorite thing about her?
Weird question. What's your
I'm
favorite thing
like,
about Stephen King?
I love that he writes. I think that's real great. Keep it up. Okay. So the answer is she writes complex, strong female characters.
Bad
Spoiler
answer.
alert. There will be none of those here.
There are no parallels to this conversation.
So he goes, after walking her home, he goes back and he finds out that Noah is with a lady and locked him out. So he sleeps in the laundry room.
Is there at least a sock on the door?
No, it's just locked. And he's like, hey, let me in. What gives? And he's like, figure it out. Blah. So now,
Rude.
okay.
This is like the first day, right?
Yeah, I don't even, I think we're like maybe even 20 minutes in. I don't know. A lot of stuff's gone down. But next morning, Noah Centineo wakes up with Rachel, the sorority sister who ran after No Name McGee.
Yes.
How'd that happen?
She got denied by Mr. No Name, and so she went to Noah.
I guess, like,
Clearly.
right. I
The
don't
other guy was
understand.
like, "You're obsolete. I have a phone that I assume has porn on it, because
I
if he
love
just
the
turns down every girl saying that they're obsolete,
I know, like, you're obsolete, you're obsolete.
all I need is
Um,
my phone."
oh my gosh, that makes me think of the Twilight Zone with the obsolete thing. I forget which. No, I think I'm mixing them up because then I just started thinking about the librarian. Like, oh no, there was time now.
Wait,
Okay.
what? I don't know what you're
If
talking about.
if
I
you
know the
watch the
librarian.
if you watch the he broke his glasses.
Yeah, no. Oh, spoiler. Come on.
What? Oh no! I ruined the Twilight Zone for everybody. Oh no, I feel really
That's
bad.
like one of the best episodes, and
It's
you
like
just
one of my.
spoiled it.
Well, actually, I didn't ruin my favorite one, so
Which one's your favorite
I'm
one? Now I have to
not gonna.
know.
It's gosh, what's it called? Well, I guess it's like two. I really like the one where everyone has to say everything's very good.
Yes.
And then I also love the one with the really ugly lady.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's a good one too.
Yeah. But I still feel bad. I'm sorry if I ruined obsolete for everybody.
This is
But
not
watch the
even.
Twilight
I know.
Zone. It's better than this. But also, I thought spoiler alerts didn't count after like 10 years.
Yeah, that's definitely been on long enough. If that was spoiled for you, you need to get it together.
Okay. So, Noah Centineo wakes up with Rachel. Long aside. Okay, anyway. And his dad's knocking on the door. So he's like, ugh, you gotta get out of here. And she's like, but you promised coffee and bagels. And he's like, I'll get you a gift card. And then she's like, wait, what? And then he pushes her out the window. And she's like, what? But I'm scared of heights. And he's like, it's just the ground floor. And then he opens the window and he's like, load coming out. And then, like, literally shoves her out the window.
What a strange. First of all, how did she not realize they were on the ground floor? She went there with him.
I feel like even though it's the ground floor, I feel like it's still like raised enough because it definitely looks like she went flying
I
to an
mean,
extent.
I think it would be like maybe, well, like 4 feet off the ground, maybe. It can't be that high to be pushed out of the window. Um,
I mean, she lives. Spoiler alert.
so so I don't know. If you're afraid of being up like 10 feet, you're majorly afraid of heights.
Yeah,
Um,
I'm. I guess she just saw like window and was like, "No, don't push me
That's
out the window." But
that's really
he,
dumb dialogue. Oh, I'm afraid of heights.
I just love that she's like the coffee and bagel.
I mean, I understand that feel.
Yeah, well, I don't know why she trusted this random guy off the street to provide this.
She put her trust in him. Maybe that was the deal. Like, hey, if you sleep with me, I'll get you coffee and bagels.
She was pretty adamant. She definitely seemed to feel like they had a bargain.
Yeah, I bet that was
Okay,
it.
yeah. So Dad comes in and then like he introduces Noah to Inga, and Noah asks, "What happened to Fabiola?" And then the dad says, "Inga happened to Fabiola."
What?
So I guess he was with someone named Fabiola before, but then Inga came along and she was like, "Well, your name is one syllable less but equally bad, so yay."
But it sounds like when you phrase it in Inga happened to Fabiola, that sounds like she did something to her, like murdered her.
That would be such an interesting story if there's just this background
A little
murder
side
going on.
plot.
Yeah, just that's the B story to slice this whole weird murder. A lifetime movie in a way.
Yes,
Um,
there's a
so
Lifetime movie subplot going on.
yeah. Oh gosh, I wish I had thought of that before because that would have made it much easier to like power through, I think. So anyway, so Dad is like, "Come on, Noah Centineo, let's go to breakfast. Inga, you unpack the rest of his stuff and make sure the room looks nice, okay? Bye," and then leaves.
Weird.
So I guess that's why we're supposed to be like, "Oh, that's why he thinks women are just things because his dad treats women like that." But we're not really gonna talk about that for the rest of the movie. So like, I guess they explained it enough. Hope you caught all that. I guess. So now they go to computer science class, and Noah is late and he has lipstick all over his mouth. The teacher's unamused, and she's like, "Wipe the girl off your face. She's no nonsense Betty
Did this
over
come
here."
directly from like breakfast with his dad? That's really awkward.
I think it's supposed to be like later
Oh,
that
okay.
day, maybe, but I have no reason to believe that it isn't right straight. It could be Inga for all I
Yeah, exactly. That's
know.
kind of where I went.
Yeah. You did a really good job making my room look nice, Inga.
Ooh,
Oh
time
my
time
gosh.
for Inga's reward.
Oh my god. No. Oh, jeez. Okay. So apparently, in the syllabus that she sent out to everybody, there was an assignment. Good boy is the only one who did it,
Yay,
and
good
she's
boy.
yeah. And she's like, "Okay, well, since you're the only one who did it, why don't you come up and present it to the class?" And he's like, "Yeah, all right, sounds good." So he gets up and he's gonna do it, but then he like looks at the sea of like angry kids, and they're all shaking their head like, "Better not, good boy, if you know what's good for you," kind of thing. And it's like, isn't this college?
Yes, it
Don't
is.
y'all like not care that much
Yes,
anymore?
it is.
Okay, because like they're treating him like a high schooler who like skipped 3 grades and he's only 12 with a bunch of seniors or something. But anyway, so they're all mad at him. And then she says, "You need to pass this class if you want to take any other computer class in this school. The reason that I make it tough is because there are way too many dabblers in the coding community. And I want you guys to take coding
What
seriously."
does that mean?
I guess too many people try to dip a toe into coding and then
Why
are
does that
like,
matter?
I
Who
don't know. I
cares?
thought you could just take classes.
Who
I guess
cares? Like,
I don't.
it's not like the dabblers are stealing jobs from the people with a degree in computer science.
we
Calm
have
down, lady.
we have 3 degrees to give out in the world. You
Oh,
better not take them. Oh
that
my
would be
god. I
like
don't.
that would be like if a psychologist was like, there are too many people who get bachelors in psychology because they think it's an easy degree. We need to weed them out. Dumb.
Yeah, I don't know why it would make a difference. But I guess at the same time, though, if I was a teacher and nobody did the assignment except for one kid who then got immediately bullied out of
I mean,
doing the
that's
assignment.
different, but
Like,
I
I I guess I think she was like trying to like be like, can you guys just take this class seriously? I don't know. That's the only justification. Otherwise, it makes
She
no sense
definitely
to
could
me.
have phrased that in a different way because saying that people are just like to dabble in coding, that just sounds like it's a hobby, which is fine. Why is that a problem? It's
Yeah,
not like they're doing it wrong.
I have a friend and like she like codes like games for her friend or like, her nephew or whatever on a like whatever. And I'm like, "Oh wow, that's really cool that you can do that." And like her whole family does it. They all really enjoy it. It's like really
Yeah,
cool.
she could have just been like, "Hey, you need to do the homework because it's really important if you want to go into a career with
Yeah.
coding." Ugh.
And like also all the pretty much all the main characters in this movie are also in the class. Like obsolete guy, Rachel, Hannah, like they're all in this
Oh, well,
class
that's
and
unrealistic.
like I, and Noah Centineo, of course, and Good Boy, but like they're all taking this class.
That's
It's like
very unrealistic.
and yeah, like whatever. So after school, Good Boy is in the library doing some good boy things. Noah Centineo and his boys come to give him like a shakedown. So he's like, look, we're gonna give computer science teacher what for. So we ride together or die together. Because his thinking is she can't fail everyone at once.
Wrong.
I was thinking that the only justification I could get is like maybe her boss wouldn't like if
No,
everyone failed.
no.
But
Okay,
like,
here's how it works in college. Um,
okay,
they don't care if an entire class fails because all the professor has to do is go. They weren't doing their homework. In high school, they're concerned about like graduation rates and
test
like
scores and stuff.
test scores and whatever, and parents. And so the someone would be coming to the teacher in high school and saying, "Why is your whole class failing?" Right? Um,
Yeah.
and then some changes would be made, whatever. In college, it if it got any attention at all, it would be from like the dean maybe or like the head of the department, and they would be like, "Why did your whole class fail?" And she would go, "They didn't do any of the assignments." And they would just say, "Oh, okay." Like it doesn't matter.
Okay, I thought that seemed like a bad plan, but Noah's chock full of bad plans in this movie. So he says, look, I'll tell you if and when we do the assignments. And then he's like, but how will you? And Good Boy is like, but how will you learn? And then Noah's like, why would we want to learn in college?
I didn't
I'm
come
not
to
even
college to
kidding.
learn.
And then what's funny too is then like of the two boys, he has obsolete boy, and then he has this other guy who's like the smarter of the two, I guess. And he's like, "Whoa, I want to learn." And then
Whoa,
Good Boy
whoa,
like,
whoa.
"See
Hold
he."
up. Are you saying that we're not gonna learn? I don't know
Yeah.
about your plan, boss.
Yeah, and then but they're like, "Okay, whatever." So then they leave.
All
They
right.
leave it
That
there.
conversation went nowhere.
Oh wait, yeah, because Noah Centineo like, but do you understand what I'm saying? And then Good Boy's like, yeah, I understand what you're saying, but like, why don't you just like do the assignment and turn them in secret and be like, look, computer science teacher, I really like what you're teaching me, but like, this school is insane.
I mean, I guess if she keeps calling him out for being the only one to do the assignment, then
That's what I'm saying. Like, just like talk with her privately and be like, look, I want to learn, but I don't want to get beat up for learning. So
you
can
could
you
also
just
just
like
like transfer to a different class. That's not hard.
I think he likes her though, is the problem.
Yeah, I'm sure she doesn't only have one
I guess that's true too,
like
yeah.
class time.
She's only here for 1 hour a day. She's in such high demand. Um, anyway, so then they're walking down the stairs of the library. So now they make it all the way to the second floor of the library.
All
And
right.
Noah's like, they're talking about like, what's your favorite dating app? And then Noah's like,
what
they all have
is
their
that
problems.
conversation? Okay.
Well, it gets better.
All right.
Noah's like, they all have their problems. It's so lame. I don't want to buy anyone flowers, and I need an app that cuts out all that get to know a person
Oh, then
nonsense.
he needs Tinder.
Well, they were like, well, what about Tinder? He's like, no, you still like know people's names. That's like a
What?
real no.
What
So
does he want? He
then,
just wants a hookup.
yeah, literally, like
Like,
he wants to go to Las Vegas is what he needs to do, but like he doesn't want to travel. So then he's like, the perfect app hasn't been invented yet. We could but we should make our own app that's better.
oh
And he's like,
no.
but the only problem is they don't know how to code.
Oh no.
So so
Is
then
this?
smartish boy, oh yeah.
No, go ahead.
Okay, so then smartish boy of the two is like, wait, here's a crazy idea. What if we pay attention in our classes, do the assignments, and then eventually be able to? Noah's like, we'd never be that good. We can barely understand the syllabus.
Okay.
But good boy is still upstairs, and he looks like he knows how to code.
He looks like it.
Yeah. So Noah goes upstairs and he like looks at and he's like, "Hey, um, what are you doing?" And like, good boy was like closes his book really fast. He's like, "I was just reading the book. You didn't say I can read the book, even if I don't turn in any of the
Wow,
work."
he's whipped.
He's horrified because three strangers and his roommate just shook him down to not
At a
learn.
college.
Yeah, in the library.
So
So,
threatening.
and he's like, "Oh wow, like is that book good?" Like now that he wants something, he's a little more charming. And so he's like, "Yeah, I've already read it." And he's like, "Oh wow, you're like really smart, huh?" So then he takes his computer and he's like, "All right, grab your stuff and come downstairs. We're letting you in on our meeting." And then
Ooh.
yeah,
Secret
so
club
he,
meeting.
yeah, right downstairs. I do like love like the camera shows like they really want us to know that it's just up and downstairs. Um, so obsolete guy is like, look, if we're gonna hire you, we need to know that you can do it. Ever code an app before? And he's like, yeah. Okay, tell us about it. Which one? What? You've made multiple apps? And he says, yeah. I've made 17 for iOS and 12 for Android. What would you like to know? And they're like, oh my gosh, that's so great. What did they do? And he says, well, one led homeless people to local shelters, one assisted the blind, some helped with food. And they're like, okay, so you haven't done anything important. So now you can do something that actually matters. I'm like,
Helping
this
us
is like,
get laid.
but like, minor nitpick, but like, is the homeless people app really that helpful? Because it's kind of like dependent on them having a smartphone.
There are some programs. I know there's a program here that gives
Hmm.
smartphones to homeless people. Kind of cool.
That's good.
Yeah.
So maybe his app was affiliated with that. I figured there was like something. It just seems like there were like like
Yeah.
yeah.
Caveat.
Okay. Yeah. There we go. That was the word. So they tell Good Boy about their app idea, and here are the conditions that you have to agree on to use this app. One, don't ask for names. Two, you will not ask to see them again. And three, there is absolutely no dating on the app.
Ugh.
The plan is guys will absolutely love that. And if girls want any guys, then they're going to need to be on this app. This movie is not going to address same sex couples like at all.
Oh, that's very heteronormative of them.
Yeah. Well, at one point it kind of has a minor dig at them.
Uh, what?
And like that comes in later that like I don't know if that's supposed to count as that. I might be reading into I don't know, but like the point is that they made this app for men to get women and I'm just like, okay, but like so same-sex couples are just going to continue to use the other safe apps, I guess.
I guess so. I mean, yeah.
So, so, um, then Good Boy asks, "What's so wrong with a girl knowing my name?" And then Noah, remember, he's asking him to do this for him.
Yes.
He says, "Well, sounds like that's for me to know and you to figure out how to code."
What?
Like,
Bad.
I'm not this super combative lady or anything, but like, I tell Noah he needs to leave being vague at the door if I'm just supposed to code this weird app of his. Like,
Honestly,
right?
this could just be like a murder app.
Don't get any names.
Yeah. It'll be harder to find me if I don't
Yeah.
even know their name.
So, because these people are horrifying and insane, Good Boy agrees to think about it, but then promptly leaves. And
Okay.
now we meet Good Boy's grandparents. And they, oh yeah, okay, so the dick like came like right now. All right. So they're walking and they're like, "So how's your love life?" And then the grandma is like, "Yeah, we just came back from another honeymoon and we're so happy. And like, honey, if you need any advice on the fairer sex, you should just ask your grandfather." And then his dad is also with them and he's like, "Oh, it's all different now. The kids only use their phones." And then the grandpa is like, "For 10,000 years, men and women have not changed." And then we see two older women holding hands walking by. And then the grandma looks at him like, "Wow." And like, he's like, "I guess they've changed a little." What is that?
Yeah, that's
That's
very like
like,
subtly homophobic.
I don't know what that was. Like, I don't even know, like, what I'm supposed to take away from that. Like, it was so weird. And it's like, also, weren't we talking about our grandson's lack of a, whatever? So that doesn't happen again. But like, they're not welcome to use the app.
Yeah.
Is the point. So, Good Boy is standing at an ATM, and Noah Centineo drives up in a cool convertible, and he's like, "What are you doing here?" And then Good Boy's like, "Oh, I'm just waiting for my dad's check to clear." And he's like, So then he goes to get himself some money. And then he negs him and he's like, because Good Boy's like, "I've decided I'm not going to make the app. Like, it sounds really terrible, awful, and I want no part of it."
Good.
And then Noah says, "It's probably for the best. If you were so smart, you'd be at a really real school like MIT." And then he's like, "No, I was accepted to MIT and Princeton and Stanford and blah blah." And then he's like, "Oh yeah, well I guess you're not smart enough for a scholarship." And then tell me, fact check this for me. Good
Okay.
Boy says that the Ivies don't give out academic scholarships.
That seems wrong.
Right? Like, don't they want smart people who are poor?
um
At least a little
I
bit,
mean,
one or
at the
two.
very least you could somehow buy your way into a scholarship. Um I don't know. Yeah, I don't know for sure. I don't know a lot about Ivy League colleges, but that
Yeah.
sounds completely wrong to me.
But I do like that the writer was like, "Oh, because when I was watching this with my roommate, the first thing she asked when the mom brought up MIT, she was like, "But this kid's like kind of seems like a genius. Why didn't he just get a scholarship or something?"
Yeah.
So like they knew that that was going to come up, so they had to have this conversation to justify
And
that.
if anything, or if nothing else, if the schools themselves don't give out scholarships, you could get a scholarship from a different company to go to that school. If you're like a
Yeah.
genius, you could get a scholarship from Google or,
Yeah, I mean, you're making these apps that seem like pretty useful, like, or at least somewhat impressive. Like, anyway, so then Noah says, "Look, if you make this app, I will pay for you to get into MIT." And then he walks off. Cool guy
how
gets in
it,
his car, drives off. Noah
where,
is a very rich boy.
okay. Very rich,
Uh,
apparently.
Like, you're gonna pay for his whole college education if he makes an app for you to canoodle. Okay, like, if you're, like, balling
I'm
like
gonna
that, I
sneeze.
guess that's good.
Oh, it didn't come. Never mind.
my gosh. Okay. So then, um, like 5 seconds later, I guess, Noah's in the dorm room and he's with a girl. And then Good Boy comes in and he's like, look, I'll do it if you're really going to get me into MIT, but we need to lay down some ground rules. I don't want anyone to know I'm making this app, so I can only code in here. And if I'm only going to code in here, you need to get the girls somewhere else, and this needs to be my coding sanctuary. And
Okay,
he's like, "Mhm.
if even if you were coding elsewhere, unless you're completely surrounded by other CS students, they're not going to know what you're doing. Why does it matter?
I mean, when we see his setup, he's got like these like whiteboards all over the place and stuff. So like,
I wonder if that's how coding an app works. I feel like it's not.
yeah, I mean, there's lots of equations on it and stuff, and I guess like he just thinks that like so many people are Java literate, all over the place in this school, even though none of them can even read the syllabus in computer science class. But like, whatever. So then at first Noah's like, "What? Can't you just not?" And then every time the good boy now makes a demand, Noah first is like, "No," and then good boy just turns around and starts to leave, and then he's like, "No, no, wait, wait, wait. Okay, okay. I really want this app." And it's like really funny because it's like he always just stands up and just starts leaving without a word. It's great.
That's so
Um,
good.
yeah. So then he's like, "Okay, beat it, tits." To the girl, and then she's like, "Wait, what?" And then okay. So he tries to get breakfast in the deal too, but like he doesn't. So he gets started. He comes back and Noah sees that Good Boy has taken over the whole room. The TV's put away. He folded up Noah's futon. And then Noah's like, "Well, what am I supposed to do? This is my room too." And then Good Boy's like, "You can make me a Swiss on rye or something, a turkey Swiss on rye." And then he's like, "What? You can make your own sandwich." And then he gets up and starts to leave. And then I was like, "Okay, no, okay, whatever keeps. I'm just meant whatever keeps you coding. I'll do that. I'll do that. Okay." Um, and he's talking with these girls, and they're like, "You're making an app. What language?" And then he's like, "English." And then he's like, and then they're like, "No, we meant programming language." She's like, "I know." And they're like, "Okay, whatever, dummy."
Wow,
And then
rude.
he goes. They don't really say that, but like they should have because Noah's a
No,
jerk.
I mean,
Oh,
he's rude.
oh right. Yeah.
Ugh,
Yeah. Ugh.
ugh.
Boys. So then he goes back to Good Boy and he's like, "Well, what language is it going to be in?" And then Good Boy's like, "English." And he's like, "Was that your attempt at a joke? It wasn't funny."
What?
And he's like, "Okay." The same exact joke,
Yeah,
yeah.
what?
Anyway, so the next class, they have a pop quiz and Noah says, "I shouldn't have to take this quiz because I'm making an app for NASA."
Ugh, I hate it.
And then she says, and then because he asked for what language it's in, he's able to answer that question. And also, the writers thought that that joke was so funny because they bring it up again. Because the teacher asks, "What language is it in?" And the girls who asked him before were like, "English lands." And then she's like, the teacher's like, "Yeah, English lands." And then he's like, "No, it's in Java and C and blah, 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 all the other languages." And then she's like, "Oh, all right. Well, I want a summary. And if it looks good, then I'll give you some credit in the class and you can skip some quizzes." She's like, "That sounds like fine to me." Like she's pretty chill, honestly. She just seems like she wants kids to care about coding. She's just like a real like intense coding person, I guess. I don't know. It's really
Professor.
weird. Yeah, she's just a person,
She's
just
very
somebody.
passionate about
Yeah.
teaching coding.
Yeah. Um so then he goes, and I like, was Good Boy in class that day? Because, like, I guess not, because Noah had to go home and give Good Boy a heads up that he needs him to make the summary on the app. Which, like, why does NASA want this app?
Well, I thought that was just a lie.
But, like, she's gonna know when she reads the summary, right? Because they doubled down on it.
Yeah.
Him and his dumb friends were like, "Yeah, we can't tell you too much because we signed an NDA
They're not
for
just
NASA."
they're
They're
not just
like,
gonna lie about the summary.
Like, she's like, okay, look, just send me a summary with whatever redacted information. But like, yeah, no, they like are really intent on being like, yeah, NASA. Like, they're like they really like. Anyway, so then, the next morning he like tries to wake up Good Boy, but Good Boy's like getting sick, like, coughing, and he's like, well, you need to get better. How much is this going to set us back? And he's like, if it's just a cold, a few days, but if it turns into a sinus infection, could be a couple weeks. And I was like, but I don't have a couple weeks. You need to make the summary and blah, blah, blah. He's like, okay, well, my mom would make me some soup and tea. And he's like, no, I'm not your mom. And then he's like, okay, shouldn't be more than a couple months. And he's like, okay, fine. So then he caves. And I don't know where he got this. I guess he went to the store because he really commits. But like was walking down the hall, Noah Centineo holding this fancy tea tray with like a
Oh.
pot and a cup, and he's walking down. And at this point, I was just kind of like, I ship it a little bit. Because, like, okay, the image I sent yesterday, if you remember it, where he's in bed, that was when he was
Oh
asking. And,
yeah.
like, the look on his face, that's Good Boy looking back at Noah Centineo, like, it'll only be a couple months unless you, like, do this for me. And then Noah facepalms, like, okay, fine.
Yeah, I ship it.
So, right? Okay. So, total power shift. All right. So, computer teacher goes to Noah and she's like, I thought you were just full of it, but honestly, I saw the summary and I was really impressed with your proposal. Um, so yeah, I think just keep going and like depending on like how the actual app turns out, I think you'll like pass the class even. So, at this point it's Halloween. So that's letting us know like it's
Oh,
taking a
it gives
little
us the
time to
timestamp.
yeah. Um yeah. Then I guess I'm trying to think if anything else like relevant happened, but like no. He's just been coding. They didn't even really give us like a coding montage, which I think was like a missed opportunity, honestly. But finally Jungle is ready. And so
That's what
this
that's what it's called.
but yes. Okay, so here's my problem. Let's honestly, if they had fixed this, maybe I wouldn't think this movie is worse than F the Prom, but we'll see what you think. So this is the second app movie that Noah Centineo is in where the app is not the same name as the movie. This movie is called Swiped. Why is the dating app called Jungle? It should be called Swiped. Or
Because
the
it's a
movie should be
jungle out
called
there.
Jungle. Like, just, it
Well,
should match.
do you swipe to do whatever?
Yeah, you get swiped.
So
I
that's
just feel
why.
like the name, but it's an app movie, so it should be
What's the
they
other
should
app?
just
What's the other movie?
The Perfect Date. It's called The Perfect Date. And he basically you go on this app and you hire Noah Centineo to be your perfect date.
Oh,
That
male
is the
escort.
sort yeah, but no funny business.
Wait. Oh, that's what they all say. Um. Wait. So is
The app
it?
in that one is called oh gosh, what is the app called? But it's not called The Perfect Date. I know that much. It's called like Mr. Right or something like
Is it just
that.
the one boy? Are there more than one boy?
No, it's just Noah Centineo. He needs to get into college.
Wow. Okay. Weird.
Yeah, but that movie does have a montage, so that one's better.
Okay.
You don't seem sold.
I'm confused.
Well, honestly, it's kind of a wash. Like in this one, they're using women, in that one, women are using him.
It's weird to create an entire app just for like to get access to one person.
Yeah, but they need the app so that they can customize him. Like, what are his interests? What are his hobbies? What is he gonna wear? Like, they basically make him into a Zwinky.
Oh gosh. I don't think I've ever heard anyone say that word out loud.
I've never even used it. I just remember it used to be in the sidebar back when internet had the sidebar.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, that makes me feel so old. I love it. Okay. So now the guys, they need guys to use the app. They're like, oh, wait, our whole plan is contingent on guys using the app. So okay, I'm going to call back on your college expertise.
Okay.
Were guys ever pitching apps and stuff on the quad?
um, the few people that I knew that were CS majors were not pitching apps or even making apps, I guess. Especially if it's like your first, this is their freshman year, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, especially then.
Well, they for no there are no girls around right now. It's just a bunch of guys, and Noah Centineo is like, "Hey, we don't have time to know a girl's name. We don't have time for them to know our names." And at this point, the guys are like, "Yeah, we don't have that kind of time." So then he's like, yeah, we don't want to pay for flowers or movies. And let's not even mention the dreaded C word, commitment. So the guys
Oh.
are like, yeah, I hate all of that stuff. Yeah, you really get us, Noah. All guys are the same. So, so the condition is you have to get rid of all your other dating apps and only use Jungle.
Why is that a
So,
condition?
because that's what they said. And so then now we get to start finding out how this app works. Nobody puts their names. The only way to identify a girl that you want, and I think, and only guys do the swiping.
Oh, how
Like,
sexist.
well, girls swipe as well, but only guys can make requests.
Wow, that's really scummy.
Right. So, you don't see the girl's name. All you see is a picture of them in their underwear. No
What?
exceptions.
What?
Mm-hmm.
Why? I hate it.
So, yeah, I I know that technically this is all pretty above board. It just seems like dangerous
Yeah,
to
it
use
seems
this app. Like,
extremely dangerous.
it seems almost criminal. I know it's not technically, but somehow it feels like something not right.
Yes.
So, the other girls, Hannah's sorority sisters are comparing how many swipes they've gotten. Rachel's like, I got 19 swipes. This other girl's like, I only got three. And she's like, well, you need to stand out more. And Hannah's like, how can you stand out more if you're already in your
Your
underwear?
underwear, yeah.
And then they're like, well, how many swipes have you got? And she's like, none. I'm not using that death app. And then they're like, silly Hannah, do you want to be alone forever? And she's like, I mean, no, but I don't want to meet anyone like that. So now we find out these other rules of the app. You are not allowed to call it meeting someone because you only can noodle the one time. Unless the guy hits a special button that'll bring the girl back a second time.
Oh my gosh. So what do you
You
call it
can't.
then?
They don't
Cause,
say what you call it. You just can't
cause,
say you're meeting them.
cause the definition, that's the definition of meeting someone.
Like,
Is
yeah,
going to see someone.
if I go to the doctor's office and someone's sitting next to me and we talk and I never see them again, it was still nice to meet them. If it
Right.
was like what? Anyway, but
No,
you
that's
can't
not
call it
meeting
meeting.
them.
Yeah, no, I just encountered them once
Random
upon a time.
encounter.
Yeah. So, also, you can't say his name or tell him yours, or ask any questions, or you get kicked off the app, and there's a 2 week retraining period before you can come back.
Wow, retraining. That sounds really bad.
Well, Hannah's like, wow, that sounds incredibly liberating, ladies. I'm going to stay off the app. She walks off. And I was like, you know what, Hannah? Maybe I jumped the gun. Maybe you and Jane Austen are some strong, complex female characters in this movie, even though you make no sense, which I guess makes you complex. But I still don't know why you're mad at Good Boy over that dumb prom thing.
Yeah.
Anyway, Jungle is blown up, and now like random people are using it, like dentists and accountants. All of these
Oh,
people are using it.
okay.
But yeah. But then the next thing we see is that the sorority girls are consoling Rachel, and she's like crying hysterically because of something that happened on Jungle, but they do not tell us what happened. They just she's crying a
Mysterious. Did we
lot.
find out later?
No, you never
Oh,
find out.
that's not
Ah,
mysterious. That's just annoying.
yeah, I'm like, cause that just makes me think like she was almost murdered.
Right?
Like whatever. So
I don't know.
good boy
Maybe.
have
Okay. The only kind of acceptable thing I can think of is like maybe it was like a rape situation and the movie did not want to
acceptable.
go there, right? I mean,
Oh my gosh.
the movie didn't want to address that because it's like a fun rom com, I guess.
I guess, but that's honestly, I think it'd be better if she was almost murdered.
Well, that's because this is an anti movie.
Well, this is the glass half full situation.
Yeah.
Oh gosh. All right. So then, Good Boy is walking up, and Noah Centineo and his boys are walking up the other side, and they happen to overhear those girls. And they're talking, and they're like, do you really think Noah Centineo could make that app? Because, like, I don't think he's smart enough. And then they're like, whoever helped him is a terrible person. And Good Boy is, like, really sad to hear that. Because he didn't like the app. He just wanted to go to college.
Right.
And, like, honestly, your school's terrible. He got
Yeah.
shaken down for wanting to learn. Like,
At least
this.
his department is terrible.
Yeah, at the very least. Yeah, just be an English major. You won't have to deal with this. So now it's Christmas. So the app takes like maybe like if it was September, so it took like 3 months to make about maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know if it should have taken longer.
I have no
Oh,
idea.
yeah, but it's Christmas now, and the app is like basically in full swing. So he goes to spend the break with his family, and they spend way, way, way too much time there. And it doesn't really amount to much of anything. So here's the too long didn't care. Mom left dad for a bimbo,
Hold
blew
on.
away his
Wait.
yes,
Did you say too long didn't care?
yes.
That is not what it is.
I know that it's too long didn't read, but they're listening to me.
Okay.
Cause I can't say didn't hear, cause they y'all hear me.
It's just a phrase. Too long didn't read. It's just the phrase.
Fine. Here's the too long didn't read.
Thank you.
TLDR.
There we go.
Dad Dad left mom for a bimbo, blew away his entire inheritance, and that's why Good Boy can't afford MIT. Which maybe is why they didn't want to give him a scholarship? Maybe? I'm not sure. But he's bringing a new bimbo back for the holidays.
Oh, good.
Mom thought they were going to get back together. Got like all dressed up. It was real sad. Good Boy doesn't understand love, so he gives his family a survey, and it doesn't really go anywhere. He's like, "So like have you ever felt disrespected by a man?" And then they're like, "Ah, why are you putting these problems in our marriages that are on such thin threads or whatever?" And then mom joins Jungle, and she goes on a date, and then the
It's not a
son.
date.
Well, right, it's not meeting anyone. It's also funny because I'm like, how did she not get kicked off the app? Because she broke like every rule because she does not understand what jungle is. Like, Good Boy and the dad and the sister all follow her on this date to like make sure she's okay. Because like Good Boy is like, I do not want my mom on jungle. So like when she's on this date, the guy, she's like, oh, like I think it'd be cool to go to Spain sometime. Like it's pretty there. Like I went to Greece once, and the guy's like, yeah, yeah, whatever. And then she's like, so like, what do you do? And he's like, look, I've already invested way too much time on this date. Like, are we going or not? And then she's like, what? Like, what are you talking about? Somehow she could still use the app after that.
Oh, okay.
So I guess he didn't report her. Maybe that's the thing. He was like, whatever, old lady. Even though he's literally older than her, but fine. So, um, he finds out that his mom is using the app, and he's like, no, this has gone too far. So he shuts down Jungle, which is, I believe, in his wheelhouse as coder to do.
Yes.
Then he shuts down every other hookup app.
No.
by hacking
No.
somehow. Well, Noah and the boys are really freaked out. They're trying to call him, he's not answering. And everyone's like, what are we gonna do if women aren't just a click away anymore?
That is a good question.
I mean, it's the only question.
I mean, according to Obsolete Man, that was already a thing before
Yeah.
Jungle. So,
Yeah. Well, okay, so they go back to college, but before he goes, he tells his mom like, "I know you like think you have to be like nice to dad and everything, but like if you want to be mad at him, that's cool with me too." And then she's like, "Oh, that's so sweet of you to say. Here's some super strong relaxation tea to take back with you. And this totally won't come into play later." So, the boys
I
are waiting for him. He got that.
wonder if
So
that's
the
going to come into play later.
who knows? Who's to say, really?
Who can say?
So then the boys are like waiting at the dorm, and it's like the equivalent of them just standing there like with a bat in their hand, like we're funny meeting you here kind of deal for another shakedown. So he sees them. Well, he hears them because they're outside the door somehow because he got there first and locked the door. And
Oh,
I guess he somehow I guess him and because okay when Noah locked him out that he had to sleep in the laundry room, and when he locked Noah out now, and when he was coding, am I to assume that they have just been changing the locks on each other repeatedly? I just
maybe
realized that
there's
now
only one
because
key.
no, because they use a key.
Yeah,
It
maybe
doesn't
there's only
work.
one.
I
Oh,
guess.
wait, they try to use the key and
Like
then
they
they're
try
like,
to
oh
get in,
man,
it
it's
doesn't.
locked.
Yeah. Like they've
That's
just been
weird.
changing the locks or something. I don't
Maybe
or
they're putting a
maybe
chair under the door.
maybe because they didn't show us the door, so maybe that could be it. Because I just realized that that'd be insane if they've just been like buying new locks and installing it really quick.
Or maybe the writers in the movie don't know how locks work.
Ooh, I think you hit the nail
I
on the
think so,
coffin with
because
that
they
one.
don't seem to know how anything else human works. So,
Yeah, they don't even know how to be shy.
yeah.
So, all right. So, he hears them and he jumps out the window. He bumps into Hannah and he's like, I need to get away from Lance. And she's like, okay, great. So she gives him shelter at the sorority house. And then out of nowhere, he says, I'm going to earn your trust back, Hannah. And she says, you don't have to. I'm okay with helping you. Why are you so shy? And then she says that she has a very severe stutter that she's insecure about. And when she gets nervous, it comes back.
Okay.
So while he was singing to her and people were looking at her and there was no reason for her to talk at all, she was worried about her stutter, I guess. And that's why she doesn't want to date him?
Because he's just gonna make her stutter all the time.
Yeah. So, anyway, so they knock on the door, even though I don't know why, if she lives here, she couldn't just open the door. But,
In case
like,
there
the
was a
girl,
giant sorority orgy going on.
not.
Of
Of
course.
course. So then, the girls are like, Um, so she knocks on the yeah, they knock on the door and the girls are like, "We're not gonna let you in unless you make a Jungle for Girls app." And he's like, "I really don't want to make any apps anymore." And then they're like, "Okay, well, I guess you're not coming in." It's like, "Okay, I mean, after I make your app." So now the power that Noah took from him, that he got back from Noah, is now going back to these sorority girls.
Yeah, all these people are very easily
Sweet.
yeah, like manipulated. Jeez. Like there was no other solution than to agree to make an app. You couldn't have gone to someone else's house or something.
Yeah. I mean, I guess not. So, but here's something. So then all the girls sit down and he's sitting in front of them and he asks them what they want. And the girl who commissioned him to make this app is like, you know what? I need to study. And then he's like, well, how's your love life? And then she sits back down. You
Okay.
asked for this app. Why are you not answering his questions easily? He didn't want to make this app. You
Yeah.
wanted it. Okay. Well, he says, I want to find an algorithm to help you girls get your power back. And then he's like, so then as he's saying he wants to make the app, one of the girls like, ugh, I knew he was selling something.
What?
Like they asked, it's like they just forgot somewhere in the
Do
script that
they
they commissioned him to do this.
do they yeah, that's very confusing.
So then for some reason he goes back to his room and then Noah and the guys are like, where's the app? You need to bring it up if you want to go to MIT. And I'm like, okay, good. Because I kind of like, it seems like, oh, he should already be at MIT because, like, he gave you the app for, like, months. But whatever.
Yeah.
Like, he should at least have, like, some money. Some college money, I guess. I don't think he was ever going to get into MIT, honestly, now that I think about it.
I don't think he was
So,
ever planning on paying his tuition.
I don't
Wait a
think that
second.
ridiculous promise was ever going to pan out.
Hold on a second.
So he's like, okay, look, it'll just take some time. And they're like, I don't trust you, so we're gonna watch you code.
Weird.
Like, which is funny too, because like with these guys, like if he just opened up,
Sneeze. Sorry.
okay,
I
it's,
didn't have time to warn you that time.
it's okay, you're safe. What a weird thing to say to a sneeze. You're safe.
You're
You're
safe.
there. You scared yourself. It's okay. All right. Anyway, so Um, but like it's just funny because like with these guys, if he just opened up Hacker Typer and just like went do do do, would they have
Yeah,
known the difference?
exactly.
Okay, so then yeah, he could just full screen Hacker Typer. But anyway, he's like, "All right, I'm going to code, but I'll need you to make this tea that my mother gave me. It gives you high energy."
It
Even though
gives
she
you
said it.
super strength.
Yeah. And then the boys are like, what? And then Noah's like, yeah, I make him the tea sometimes to help him code, which is like, I ship it. But anyway, so then the boys all fall asleep because they also, because like the friends at first are like, you know, if you're making him tea, I want some tea too. And then they all make, they all have the tea.
Oh,
And
that's
it's
so cute. They're having a little
yeah.
tea party together.
I wish we could have seen them drink it, but it just pans. But like,
Oh.
with how this movie is written so stereotypically, I don't think they wanted to portray men drinking tea on screen.
Yeah, probably not.
And so he runs to the girl's house again and asks for shelter and protection from Noah Centineo. And they're like, "We knew it. We knew it wouldn't be long before you tried to sleep with one of us." And he's like, "What? No. I just need a safe place so I can make your app." And they're like, "I don't believe you. You're just like all the other guys." And then he finally gets them to let him in because he admits that he likes Hannah. Which like was
Was
that
that a
even a quest?
secret?
He only ever talks to Hannah.
And they
He
he
came here with Hannah.
he dedicated a song to her in
I mean,
May.
I guess
Like,
they weren't at prom, but
yeah,
yeah.
but like
But
that
it's
wasn't that long
how is she
ago.
already in a sorority? I thought school like maybe it's not they call it a sorority though, and I think there are Greek letters. It just
You can you can get
I
into a
think
sorority when you start
I
college.
guess I just it just seems like but it seems like the classes hadn't even started yet. It just seems like I thought like pledge
Well,
week was kind of like around like that time. Is it during the summer?
I mean, you have to apply like during the summer so that you can get in and be in during the semester.
All right, I guess so. So, anyway, so the boys are like, he made us fall asleep with that tea. We're gonna go. So they run to the house, and then the girls are like, you're not getting in. And then they're like, "You let us in. We're gonna get him." And so now the girls have like war paint on and
Oh.
weapons
What?
to defend Good Boy.
Is it like a spatula?
Weapons include candlestick,
Oh.
picture frame,
Oh.
hairbrush.
I feel like some of those do way more damage than others.
I well, I just love hairbrush.
Yeah,
And
that's what I mean. What?
like it's kind of I guess the movie like thought that that was funny because like the other girls are like holding like lamps and things, which I like really wanted one. I thought here's something that would have helped make the movie better. This is like a genuine tip. If one of the girls had like broken like the light bulb on it, and then the other girls are like, "Whoa." Whoa, we're just being menacing here. Like, and she was like,
She's out for
oh,
blood.
yeah, she's like, "Oh, I'm sorry." But I guess they thought of all those like potential things, they thought like the hairbrush was the funniest thing cuz like then as like the guys are running away, they're like, "Man, that hairbrush was to maim. To maim." And it's like, "Okay,
Oh,
like they were like
calm
there were so
down.
many like picture frame.
Yeah, candlestick.
Yeah, lamp. And it's so funny too because they didn't even really make Hairbrush a focal point. She was like not even really in focus, which is weird that they thought we would see her. Like I noticed her because that was a dumb thing to bring to the table. But whatever. Now the girls don't like them. They like Good Boy. So now they have to be nice to these girls if they want a canoodle. The
Aw,
horror.
man.
Yeah.
Decent human interaction.
Yeah. So obsolete guy is hitting on Rachel now.
Okay.
And so and it's kind of funny because this whole like this their attempt at getting these girls back. I don't know if you remember in Hey Arnold, the 6th grade couple, Maria, get over here.
Yeah.
That's what this whole scene reminds me of those guys. Cuz like when the girls ignore them, Noah's like, okay, use flattery. That always works. So obsolete guy is like, you look so nice, Rachel. And he sounds like it is killing him to say these words. Like, he is so put out. It is hilarious. Then, guy two is like, wow, Botox really helps. And then Noah says, they each have their respective sorority girls that they want.
Of course.
Then to whatever girl Noah's talking to, he's like, I see you lost those 5 pounds you were worried about. Like, you really, like, you don't understand, like, what flattery is?
I guess that was,
Or,
I hope that was the movie's attempt at oh, they don't know how to compliment girls because
yeah.
they only sex all the time.
Yeah, that's definitely what they were going for, but it's just like, okay, but like you're still people.
Are
Like
they? Based on
no.
how this movie is written, I'm under the impression that they're either robots or perhaps aliens
Or monsters.
or just monsters. Like pretty much anything that's not a human. Maybe they're like three raccoons in a trench coat. I mean, yeah, that would make more sense based on the other
Yeah.
dialogue.
Yeah. No, that's true. So we're going to computer class, and the teacher wants an update on Jungle, and he's like, "Oh, well, we need to debug." And then she's like, "Okay, great." So I'm sure the rest of the class would be really interested to know like what goes into debugging an app and updates like that. So turn something in to show that off. And then she's like, "Wait," because at this point she knows what the app is.
Mhm.
She says, "Wait, didn't you say that NASA commissioned this app?"
It took her this long.
Yeah. I guess she like part of me is like, okay, are you like just messing with them or like what is happening? But anyway, um so that's pretty much all that happens in computer class. Like Noah's charms are slowly not getting him out of every jam like they used to, I guess is the point of that. But then they realize, you know what? Those girls wouldn't protect him if they knew he made jungle in the first place. So Noah's dad is famous in some capacity that he has a publicist. So he says, Dad, get your publicist to proclaim this to the world that Good Boy made the app. And so, but okay, here's what doesn't make sense. The girls asked him to make a girl version of Jungle.
Yes.
So I kind of assumed they already knew he was the one who helped Lance
Right.
because who else would have helped him?
Right. And why
Well,
would you
anyway,
just ask this random dude to make a girl version of Jungle?
I guess because on the first day of school he was the only one who did the assignment, but that doesn't mean he
That
can
doesn't mean
code
anything.
yet.
Yeah.
Okay, so now we're back at sorority house. He is typing on a computer as the girls tell him different things that they want him to do. Among this low bar to clear to be an acceptable mate for these women, is not to hit on the waitress while you're on a date. That's like
That's
all this one girl wants.
what?
Like they have other lists, but like that's the one that I actually remember to write down. But like it's just like basically, can you be nice to me, please? I'd really like that. That's what they want from this app.
It makes me sad to think about what the writers or creators of this movie think dating is like, I guess.
It's really weird because it was like written by a woman, and it's like,
What? I guess
yeah,
unless her whole thing is like men suck.
I guess. But then, so then he's like, I'm gonna name the app Eve, like the first woman. And then they're like, oh wow, I really like that. So
Bad.
then, so now he's coming downstairs. So he has been upstairs, apparently, in some room working on this app. And he comes downstairs to reveal the ultimate app. Now, would you like to take a stab at what the app is?
Ugh. Is it the exact opposite of Jungle?
He opens his hand. There's nothing in it.
Oh boy.
And they say, what is the app? And he says, you're the app.
Oh no.
There's
Oh,
nothing there's nothing that I can code that can equal what God has already given you.
maybe we were the app the whole time.
And
Maybe the
then
real app was the friends we made along the way.
yep. And then
Oh my gosh. This is just the ending of Kung Fu Panda. I don't remember if it's the first one or the second one.
someone so then they're like, but guys control the app. And I'm like,
What?
you could still make Girl Jungle because you already, first of all, you already have all the framework for Guy Jungle or whatever, and like, it only took you like 3 months to make that, so I figure you could probably whip out Girl Jungle in a weekend. But like, also, you could just make it like, tell me your name, don't be a monster. Also, the same logic that Noah had. He's like, if all the guys use the app, the girls are going to have to use this app if they want a guy. Well, if all the girls get together and are only going to use this app, if the guys want a girl, they're going to have to go on this app.
Right.
So you could just do that instead of just telling these girls never to go. He goes on this whole rant like no one needs to online date ever. And it's like, okay, I guess. Like, but some people have good experience. Some people get married off of online dating, like eHarmony and stuff. Like, you know.
Yeah.
Anyway, I guess the people in this movie are like, it's really bad. So now everybody finds out that Good Boy made the app, but like we don't really see the sorority girls because they're still talking with him at this point. But like his family finds out, and I'm like, I don't care about your family. I don't care what they think you did or didn't do. Um, But there's been like this tech guy that he like always is watching on like YouTube, I guess, and then he finds out that he made the app, and he's like, that kid was always calling into the show. I thought he was just a weird fan, but like, he made Jungle. We need to go find him. That's not gonna go anywhere. Movie's almost over. So, so, but then Noah and the guys are like, you know what? We really need to get back at him though, and all he cares about is that dumb girl Hannah. So we're gonna go to her directly because she's not online or anything. And so they go up to her and they're like, "Good boy made the app," and she's like, "What?" So she rushes home, and then the girls are like, "Hey, he's telling us about this great app," and she's like, goes up to him and she's like, "Did you make Jungle?" And he's like, "No, I coded it."
What?
And they're like, "What? We trusted you." And then one girl's like, "Well, I mean, he's helping us now, though, so why don't, like, right?" And then Hannah's like, "I was just starting to trust you again." And then he says, "I wanted to be with someone." And then the girls are like mad again, and they're like, "Hey, that's not cool, man." And they're like, "Wait, but the girl was just like, he's helping us now, and you were all on board with that." It's like they literally are just going back and forth with things that are being said. All of the girls in the sorority. It's insane.
Like a real
And so,
sorority.
I guess, even though from what I understand about sororities is that they're usually pretty smart people. And
Yeah, they
like,
are.
because they're making like connections and things, but not these girls. I don't know what their plan is. I guess this is why it's a low rate school and a bad sorority. No, it's not even in a
Yeah.
fraternity. He has a dorm room. Anyway, whatever. So, so then, they're like, "That's not cool that you would do such a bad thing to us." And then he's like, you know, someone told me that if all the guys were on the app, that all the girls would go. But the one girl I liked didn't go on. And then they're like, "Aw, is that why you shut down the app?" Like now they're back with him. And then then another girl's like, "You made the app for love?" And then he said, "No, someone promised I could go to MIT. But also yes, because Hannah, I'm in love with you." And now he's just won everybody over. So Rachel tells Hannah, "If you don't kiss him, I'll marry him."
What? What a weird ultimatum.
If you don't kiss him right now, I will marry him. And the other girls are like, "Get in line."
Do they know how marriage works? Do they know how anything works? It doesn't sound like it.
Like James, good point doesn't have a choice. Oh my gosh. Okay. So then she goes up to him, she hugs him tight, and he hugs her because this is all he's wanted this whole movie. And then they have a little kiss, and it's so sweet, and everybody's like, "Aw."
Those rom coms, man.
Well, it's not over yet.
Aw, man. Dang it.
That's why I paused. I'm a little prankster.
I was
Okay.
thinking like the little circle fade out.
Yeah, or even like a little heart one. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But no.
No.
Um, Computer science teacher lets Noah know that he's repeating the class, and he's talking with his boys like this is such a weird like wrap up to the movie. But he's like, I don't think I'm that into tech. I'm gonna major in business because like Jungle did pretty well for a while, and I'm like, because you're gonna change your major because you were never into tech. You didn't even want to learn anything.
Well, then it's a good decision, isn't it?
I guess, but like, so then, okay, now we're pivoting again. He literally was just like, "I'm gonna change my major." Also, obsolete guy, can you stop hitting on Rachel? Because apparently at some point he fell for her. When that happened, I do not know. Even
Well,
when the
like,
boys were trying to hit on the girls, obsolete guy hit on Rachel, he hit on Melanie. Or Melody, I don't know. So then the other guys are like, "Oh, look who's not so bad after all." And he's still very, very bad.
yeah.
That didn't
That
stop,
doesn't
but
excuse anything.
this is obsolete guy and other friend talking, so who cares what they think of him? So he is now waiting outside of the sorority house, and she's walking out. And so he walks up to her, And he's like, "Hey, can I walk you to class?" And she's like,
You better
"Yes,
look at
that's
the
okay."
ground and make sure I don't trip.
Yeah. Well, then I love that, like, they're like, I mean, he's still not totally good because he still negs her because he asks to carry her books and he says, "Let me get those. I know you're not used to them."
What?
Like, rude. Like, I didn't even
Also,
ask. Like, you came up to me out of
yeah,
nowhere and you're calling me dumb and I don't know books? Like, what?
maybe he just meant she's not strong enough to carry them.
I guess. I guess. But then, so then he asked her out to dinner, and she's like, maybe. And now the movie is sort of slowly fading out, and she's like, yeah, and after dinner, maybe we could get married over there. And she's like, ew, what? And he's like, what, too fast, too fast? Like, he's being like cute and flirty, and she's like, oh, Noah Centineo. And then that's the end of the movie.
Oh,
Remember how Good Boy was the star and he got his kiss?
yeah.
Apparently, the movie was like, you know what, Good Boy, like, Sax isn't even gonna remember your name, so let's just end with Noah Centineo. Because, like, what?
I also really appreciate that there was like pretty much no character development.
No one learned anything.
No one learned anything. I guess
I
we
mean,
learned that the app was inside of us the whole time.
yeah.
Which I mean, I guess is true. You could hook up with someone without knowing their name or I forgot their other rules. Asking questions.
I just love. How do you not ask a question? Like, where are we meeting? Your band. How am I to find you, sir? So that was swiped. Do you think
uh,
you're gonna be tuning in to
no.
Netflix?
No, I that actually ruined Netflix for me, the whole streaming service. So I'm just gonna unsubscribe. They just posted cringe. Unsubscribe.
Agreed. Well, thanks for listening to that. And for everybody else who didn't want to watch Swiped that came here. Okay.
I don't think anybody else knew what they were getting into, much like myself.
It was a wild ride, but we survived, right?
Barely.
Barely. Okay. All right. Bye.
Until next time, bye.